getting a tattoo on certain body parts can be as painful as breaking a bone? In fact, studies show that tattoo pain can reach up to 7 on a 10-point pain scale. But some spots are way worse. Stick around, because we're breaking down the absolute worst tattoo pain zones, and why some artists refuse to ink them. First, let's talk about why the ribs and sternum hurt more than other tattoo locations. It all comes down to 3 things: thin skin, a high concentration of nerves, and direct contact with bone. Unlike areas with more muscle or fat, the ribcage is practically skin on bone. There's almost nothing to cushion the impact of the tattoo needle, which means every pass of the machine sends vibrations straight through your body. Some people even describe it as feeling like their bones are being carved into. Not exactly a walk in the park. And let's not forget about the nerves. The ribcage and sternum house some of the most sensitive nerve endings in your body, making the pain sharper, deeper, and more intense. To make matters worse, breathing alone can make the process more difficult. Your ribs naturally expand and contract, which means the artist has to work with constant movement. This can lead to prolonged sessions and increased discomfort. Your spine is packed with nerve endings and has little to no fat for cushioning. Unlike other areas where muscle or flesh absorbs some of the impact, here the needle strikes almost directly against bone. The result? A sensation that many compare to a tiny drill boring into their nerves, sending sharp, electrifying pain throughout their entire body. Tattoo artists often notice clients clenching their fists, sweating, or even tensing up involuntarily when getting their spine tattooed. Some report an almost shocking, jolting sensation as the needle moves up and down their vertebrae. And the worst part? There's no way to ease into it. From the very first pass of the needle, the pain is at full intensity. Unlike areas that heal relatively quickly, spine tattoos tend to stay sore for days. First, let's talk about anatomy. Your body has natural padding in most places: fat, muscle, and soft tissue that help absorb some of the pain. But your elbow and kneecap? Almost none. The needle hits directly over bone, sending vibrations through your entire limb. That's not just pain, it's a deep, rattling sensation that some describe as feeling like their entire joint is being drilled into. And if that wasn't bad enough, both the elbow and kneecap have tons of nerve endings. The skin is thin, making it extremely sensitive, and every needle stroke can feel like an amplified burn. One of the worst parts? The vibration. Since there's barely any cushion, the needle's movement resonates through your entire arm or leg. Many tattoo artists say clients struggle with elbow and kneecap tattoos because the sensation isn't just painful, it's relentless. And here's the kicker: your body naturally resists ink in these spots. The constant movement of your joints makes it harder for the tattoo to heal properly, often requiring touch-ups. That means more time under the needle, which, yeah, you guessed it, it means more pain. Ask any tattoo artist, and they'll tell you the armpit is straight up brutal. Why? It's packed with ultra-sensitive nerve endings, and the skin here is thin and loose, which makes every needle puncture feel 10 times worse. But here's the kicker: it's also one of the sweatiest spots on your body. That means more wiping, more irritation, and a higher risk of infection. And if that's not bad enough, the vibrations from the tattoo machine? They travel straight into your ribcage, making it feel like your entire upper body is under attack. Even experienced tattoo lovers say an armpit tattoo is next-level pain. Worse than ribs, worse than elbows, even worse than the kneecap. Hands and fingers are packed with nerve endings, and there's barely any muscle or fat to cushion the needle. Every pass of the tattoo machine drills straight into bone, making this one of the most painful spots to get inked. But some artists refuse to do hand and finger tattoos, not just because of the pain, but because of how fast they fade. You use your hands every single day, washing, rubbing, gripping, exposing them to sunlight. That constant friction wears down the ink much faster than tattoos on other body parts. Within months, what looked bold and crisp can turn into a smudged blur. Ever seen someone with a hand tattoo that looks like an old ink stain? That's why. Even worse? Touch-ups don't always fix the problem. Some ink won't hold well in these areas no matter how many times you go over it. If you've never had a tattoo before, this might not be the best place to start. People describe ankle and foot tattoos as stinging, burning, or even feeling like a hot knife dragging across the skin. Some compare it to dental work without anesthesia. Others say it's manageable but becomes unbearable the longer the session lasts. Even if you push through the session, the healing process isn't easy. Your feet are constantly in motion, rubbing against socks and shoes, which can slow healing and increase the risk of infection. Swelling is common, and in some cases, people can't wear regular shoes for days, or even weeks. The bad news? Foot and ankle tattoos fade faster than those on other body parts. Why? Because your feet deal with friction every single day. Socks, shoes, walking, sweating, all of these factors contribute to fading. If you want your tattoo to stay crisp, you'll need regular touch-ups and religious sunscreen application. The neck and throat area is a different beast entirely. Unlike fleshier areas, the needle's movement is amplified by the lack of fat and the presence of your vocal cords. People often describe it as a jackhammer inside their skull. Some even say it triggers an uncontrollable gag reflex or makes them feel like they can't breathe. Now let's talk about what happens after the session. Swelling? Check. Difficulty swallowing? Definitely. Sleeping comfortably? Forget about it. The constant motion of your neck, whether you're talking, eating, or just turning your head, slows down healing significantly. And if you're thinking about covering it with a scarf or hoodie, bad idea. Friction can ruin the healing process, leading to blowouts, fading, or even infections. At first glance, the inner bicep seems like a great place for a tattoo. It's a flat area, easy to hide if needed, and can hold intricate designs. But here's what no one tells you, it's one of the most painful spots to tattoo. The skin here is soft and thin, meaning the needle hits deeper than expected. Unlike tougher areas like the forearm, the inner bicep lacks padding, making each needle stroke feel sharper and more intense. Pain is one thing, but the swelling is what catches most people off guard. The inner bicep tends to swell excessively due to fluid retention and constant movement. If you're an active person, be prepared. Your arm might feel tight, sore, and even look twice its size for a few days. And if you're not careful, this swelling can blur your tattoo, forcing unnecessary touch-ups later. If you've ever slammed your shin into a coffee table, you already know. This area is sensitive. The skin sits right on top of the bone, with little to no muscle cushioning the needle. That means every pass of the tattoo machine vibrates deep into your bone. It's a sharp, almost electric pain that doesn't let up easily. On the other hand, the calf is a different story. It's a more muscular area, which means the pain is duller, more like a deep pressure or an intense scratch. But don't get too comfortable. Areas closer to the shin or ankle will ramp up the pain. If you're worried about pain, the outer part of your upper arm is one of the best places to start. The muscle and fat here act as a cushion, making it more bearable than other areas. Most people describe it as a mild, scratchy sensation. Annoying, but totally doable. The shoulder cap? Same deal. Since there's a bit of padding, the pain is manageable. It might feel like a steady irritation rather than sharp pain. This is why first-timers love this placement. Now let's talk about the areas that sting. The closer you get to the collarbone or the top of the shoulder blade, the more intense it gets. Why? Less fat, more bone, and a whole lot of nerve endings. The outer thigh is one of the least painful spots to get tattooed. That's because it has a good layer of muscle and fat, which absorbs the impact of the needle. Many tattoo artists recommend this spot for beginners since it offers a large canvas for detailed designs without the excruciating pain you'd get in bony areas. But there's a catch. Because of the way skin stretches and moves, certain designs might distort over time. Now let's talk about the inner thigh. At first glance, it seems like a solid choice. It's well hidden and offers a large space for detailed artwork. But this is where people get a rude awakening. First, the pain level here is drastically different. The inner thigh has softer skin, more nerve endings, and less muscle cushion. The needle hits differently in this area, making it surprisingly rough to sit through. Even people who handled tattoos on other parts of their body just fine have been shocked by the pain. But pain isn't the only issue. Healing can be a nightmare. The inner thigh is a high friction area, meaning your tattoo will constantly rub against your clothing and even your other leg when you walk. The forearm has a good amount of muscle and fat, meaning it's far less painful than areas like ribs or hands. It's beginner-friendly, giving you a smooth introduction to the tattoo world without making you want to tap out mid-session. Next, visibility and longevity. Your forearm is exposed enough to showcase your tattoo, but it's also easy to cover up if needed. Plus, because it doesn't experience as much friction as places like your fingers or feet, your ink is less likely to fade quickly. Compared to other spots, the outer bicep is one of the least painful areas to tattoo. It's got more muscle, fewer nerve endings, and a decent layer of fat. That means a smoother experience. You won't be clenching your teeth the whole session. Also, it's one of the easiest places to heal because it doesn't face constant friction like hands or feet. No rubbing against tight clothes, no excessive movement like the inner elbow. Plus, it's less exposed to the sun, meaning your tattoo stays vibrant for longer. Most people assume the upper back is a safe zone, but placement is everything. If your design sits too close to the spine, you're in for a painful surprise. The thin layer of skin over the bone amplifies the needle's impact, turning what should be a bearable experience into a serious endurance test. But here's the catch. Move the tattoo just slightly to the side, and suddenly the pain is way more manageable. Beyond the pain, there's another issue no one tells you about: healing. Your back is constantly in motion, from stretching to simple things like leaning against a chair. That friction can slow down the healing process, making it more prone to irritation, scabbing, or even ink loss. Which tattoo spot do you think hurts the most? Drop a comment below and let's hear your thoughts. And if you found this surprising, don't forget to like this video and subscribe, because trust me, we've got even crazier tattoo facts coming your way.